Canada's history is a rich and complex narrative that spans thousands of years, beginning with the indigenous peoples who first inhabited the land and continuing through European colonization, nation-building, and modern development. Each chapter of its past has played a vital role in shaping the country into the diverse and inclusive society it is today. Long before European explorers arrived, Canada was home to many indigenous groups, including the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations. These communities developed sophisticated societies with distinct cultures, governance, and ways of life. They lived in harmony with the environment, practicing hunting, fishing, farming, and trade for centuries. European exploration began in the late 15th century, when John Cabot arrived on behalf of England in 1497. Later, in the 1530s, Jacques Cartier claimed land for France along the St. Lawrence River. These explorations laid the foundation for future settlements and colonization efforts by European powers. In the early 1600s, the French established permanent settlements, including Quebec City in 1608. Known as New France, the colony grew through fur trading and alliances with indigenous groups. French influence became deeply rooted in the region's culture, religion, and legal traditions, particularly in Quebec. However, France and Britain soon engaged in a fierce struggle for control of North America. This culminated in the 7 Years' War, after which the Treaty of Paris in 1763 transferred New France to British control. Despite the British victory, the French-speaking population remained a strong and influential presence in Canadian society. Following the American Revolution, thousands of Loyalists moved north to British-controlled territories. This influx of English speakers led to the formation of new colonies such as New Brunswick and Upper Canada, contributing to westward expansion and increased diversity within the growing Canadian population. By the mid-19th century, political and economic pressures encouraged the unification of British colonies. In 1867, the Dominion of Canada was created through confederation, with Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia as its founding provinces. Sir John A. Macdonald became the country's first prime minister, symbolizing a new era of nationhood. To solidify this unity, the Canadian government undertook the ambitious project of building the Canadian Pacific Railway, completed in 1885. This railway connected eastern and western Canada, encouraging immigration and economic development. However, it also disrupted indigenous communities and intensified the struggle over land and resources. Canada's participation in both world wars marked a turning point in its national identity. Canadian soldiers gained international respect for their courage, particularly at battles like Vimy Ridge. These experiences, along with Canada's growing autonomy, helped define the country as an independent player on the world stage. In the post-war years, Canada embraced modernization and reform. The adoption of the Maple Leaf flag in 1965 and the passing of the Official Languages Act in 1969 reflected its evolving national identity. Social programs like universal healthcare improved the quality of life, while multicultural policies encouraged diversity and inclusion. In recent decades, Canada has taken steps to acknowledge the injustices faced by Indigenous peoples. Through reconciliation efforts and the work of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the country is confronting its colonial past. Indigenous voices are increasingly being heard in political, social, and cultural arenas. In conclusion, the history of Canada is a journey from ancient civilizations to a modern, multicultural society. While the country continues to face challenges, its commitment to democracy, diversity, and reconciliation reflects a hopeful path forward. Canada's story is one of resilience, growth, and a continuing effort to build a just and inclusive future for all its people.